Looking to the markets, not a massive move here.
All right,
Seeing some slight strength in
get
the
this.
500 though.
Okay, just getting all set up here, guys. Don't mind me. Give me a second here. Go over here. All right, so that news was relatively good. Minimize this. All right, so
And we have posted out the University of Michigan.
we also hit point of control from yesterday,
For those interested.
which kind of held as that level right here all morning since pretty much 6:50 a.m. I haven't taken any trades overnight. Looks like there was some balance trading up until about 5 a.m. where we got some price discovery to the downside, really just traversing yesterday's distribution. You know, we can't go up straight forever, right? So there's going to be a pullback. All right, this pullback brought us to yesterday's point of control. We held. I've been watching, this is ES here. I've been watching this level. We finally broke back into value on the yearly VWAP value area. All right, so I was expecting maybe a little bit of a back test here. You could see we held the upper band on the monthly VWAP. We broke, we back tested here. That was the high this morning. Almost to the tick on ES. Look at that. Right there. So we're probably going to, in my guess, guys, we're going to see some balance trading for a little bit here. I wouldn't be looking for any big moves or price discovery quite yet. Now, anything could happen. However, I am anticipating some balance trading. We're in this big node that we established so far in the session and also from yesterday. Okay, we're also at the top of that tariff pause candle, and we're still in this distribution from April 3rd, right? So this 531 level is really key on ES. On NQ, similar story, a little wider range. 19,500 is going to be key, so they'll probably trade somewhat in sync. Right. It says, hey, Chris, when you're live, which conversations do you pay attention to? These in the chat window or the ones in the... I pay attention to the live chat room. All right, so the room we're all in now on the Discord is the one I'm watching the closest. I don't even actually really look at main chat while we're trading. So if you guys are talking in there, I'm not seeing it. I do try to brush over to YouTube. Help those guys out a little bit for just the first 30 minutes of the day. But I'm mostly focusing in the Discord, in the actual live trading room chat. So hopefully that helps. So we did hit VWAP again on NQ right here. So we've had 2 VWAP bounces here so far. If we could break above it, that could be pretty bullish. But again, we have point of control actually just shifted, interestingly enough. Yeah, I expect choppy conditions today. So don't trade like it's a breakout market today, guys. We trade when we're in balance. I expect us to kind of bounce around in this distribution that we formed yesterday and so far again this morning on the higher time frame here. That's going to be this area. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a little more downside before we eventually maybe get the next big move up. Okay. I've only taken one small trade this morning. I'm up only like $25 across 5 accounts. So really not much to speak of yet. So let's pay attention. Let's see what opportunities present themselves this morning. And let's see if we can take some good trades. I hit the record button, Chuck. Thank you. Sometimes I do remember. Yep. So Nathan in YouTube says I trade right at the levels. Yes, generally I do. As soon as we get close to it, I'm trying to scale in. I'm also listening to the tape a little bit through Tick Strike to help give me a little more conviction in getting in, depending on how aggressive I'll get. The entry rules are different for every setup. And there's 4 core setups, and then there's another 4 advanced. So there's 8 setups, all with their different rules. That's all in the course. So if you haven't checked out the course, I highly recommend going through it. It's in the premium side, but the course is available in the 7-day free trial. So you can go, essentially you can go through the entire course for free if you wanted to. You just have to do it in a week. If you want to stick around, great. If not, you just wanted the course and stick around the free side, that's fine too. Whatever you guys want. I try and make it real easy here. I'm listening to 12, Chuck. I'm listening to 12 markets here. I got oil, natural gas, gold, copper, soybean, silver, corn, Bitcoin, S&P 500, NASDAQ, the Dow, and the Russell.
The US representative
All going.
says it is constantly engaged with Japan. And
So if there's something ripping, I want to know about it. Like natural gas. Oil's catching a bid here too, and they don't usually trade together like that. They usually trade inverse. Nice, Pablo. Yep. Those fade value or extremes when we're in balance, man, they'll pay over and over again. All right, NQ is breaking above VWAP here. It's the only market to do, the only index to do so far. Interesting. Now it's tempting to go long, and I feel like a lot of people are going to try and long this here. And to be honest, I feel like it's a trap. Based on the price action we've been having so far, I think it's a low probability breakout trade. And I'm not convinced to buy this. Now I could, Ed says Natty Gas will rip your face off if you let it. Absolutely. They call it the Widowmaker, right? There are micros on natural gas, so you can trade micros. I probably won't trade this here, Dinesh. It's we're in balance. We're at VWAP. I think we can all get easily faked out here. That's my problem with this trade. Now it's looking more bullish to me than bearish. However, I think there will be a couple of traps before we go, but you know, we got some break on ES. Okay, that's bullish. Still no trades for me. I'd be wary of the sub VWAP trap here. It's not sub. I don't know what the opposite of sub. The above VWAP trap. NQ is more bullish than ES. Very possible. I'm bullish overall up here, Dinesh, based on the higher time frames. I'm just not convinced this is it yet. I'd like to see more price action to confirm. So far to me, this is a balanced market. Okay. That looked like a little bit of a back test. That was interesting. Let's see if we get more upside here. I took a little bit of a long there and Q, very small. If we hold VWAP, if not, I'm out. So my average price here is not very good. It's 20. Actually, I'm in ES. Sorry. Keep it like this. All right. Like I said, I'm worried about the VWAP, sub VWAP trap. See if it holds. Buyers have died out. Starting to scale out a little bit here, guys. I'm not crazy. There we go.
USTR says Trump ultimately will determine whether to proceed with alternative arrangements for countries that could eliminate or reduce the current 10% duties.
All right, I'm going to move my stop up. Take a little more off here. So again, I want this thing to keep working immediately. If it doesn't keep going, I'm getting out. I'm not playing the game of being in a winning trade and then turning it into a loser. I'm gonna move up to break even here, take a little more profit, scale out. My average price is 19. Right there. Oh, I'm still in. Nope, now I'm stopped out. All right. That's it. Yeah, this looks like a balanced market to me, Ed. I'm not expecting big moves, man. I'm just trying to hopefully grab some scalps out of this balanced market. Flat extensions as range markers is what I'm using for a long time. Excellent strategy. Awesome. NQ is the stronger trade, not ES. It went all the way up to upper band. ES is still holding VWAP. Dow is relatively weak. Russell is weak. Both are below VWAP.
S&P 500 last up spot 2% and the Nasdaq up 0.5%. So just making note of those March retail sales revisions. X Autos retail sales was revised up to spot 6% from 0.5%, and core retail sales revised up to spot 9% from spot 8%.
So I'm up $100 across 5 accounts. $500. Nothing exciting yet, but it's early. Gold, you looking for the return to value? I'm not crazy about the volume profile on gold, though. We're still in this value area here. I would need to see good acceptance above this range here, probably back to 305. Until then, we're still in value right here. NQ, fade value extremes, maybe? Nice trade so far. So this is a profit taking area right here. This is a low volume node on the profile so far. Right here. All right, we can probably get back to 51, scaling out a little bit. Moving to break even. Let's see if we can squeeze a little more out of this one. Yeah, we've been short. Chuck, nice. Good trade. Value area extreme setup, textbook out of the core setup guide. And my runner's about to be stopped out. So hopefully you took some profits on that, Chuck, because we just traversed this mini distribution, really, is all that happened. It was good back down to 60 maybe.
England screen says we're not sure if weakness in the UK economy is caused by demand or supply.
Yeah, the problem I saw with that is this low volume node right here.
I'm more worried about supply.
Quite obvious.
Really weak productivity growth as well.
Ran right to it in reverse. So now it's kind of like a micro distribution. Now it can still go lower, but I knew we were going to have trouble here. Looked like a bit of a back test to natural gas, still going. Hey, you guys think trading NQ is hard? You should try trading natural gas.
Bank of England screen says there are concerns about the impact of the government's budget changes.
All right, guys, we had a textbook fade value area extreme setup in NQ, guys. To the tick. Morning, Sean. Morning, Ragoza. Shotgun Eric. Nathan, good to have you guys. Everybody in the Discord. We got quite the crew this morning. Good morning. You might get a little more if you didn't stop out yet, Chuck. I mean, it's hard to tell. There it goes. ES is almost all the way back down to lower band. So choppy balance market has been the suspect so far. And so far we have been right. Completely different than yesterday. All right, let's see if it holds VWAP here.
Keep in mind, PBOC Governor Pan comments in a statement to the INFC. Pan says China has policy tools to counter external uncertainty and that China will turn domestic demand into a main growth driver. Reiterates that the PBOC will cut RRR and the policy rate when needed.
Okay, next stop.
One exchange rate basically stable.
Probably back all the way back down to lower band if we don't hold at VWAP here. Really see anything else interesting. Bitcoin strong. Bitcoin got up to 96.
Bank of England's Green says constrained supply side could be inflationary.
Beauty. All the way back down.
So we're seeing a little bit of weakness come through in the S&P 500 over the last few minutes.
China says it's going to turn domestic demand into its prime growth driver. Okay. Let's see you do that, China. All right, so back down to value area low. I'm not buying here, guys. The sellers are slamming this here, so. And I'm also not shorting into a support area, so there's no trade here for me.
Bank of England's Green says we have no idea.
The sellers die out here a little bit. That might be interesting.
Bank of England's Green says the risk now on the disinflationary side is because of tariffs.
Beauty there. Oh, bounce. If anybody tried to catch that, the sellers did die out a little bit. 30-point bounce in NQ. That happens quick. Yes. Yeah, I've been out of the fade value. I took it before we even got through VWAP. I very rarely try to hold it to the other side of value. I'm mostly trading level to level, and I'll take more trades, higher win rate stuff. There is a lot of stuff down here. I agree with you. That's why we got such a solid bounce. A lot of buyers stepping in. Now, are they bagging them is the real question.
Bank of England's Green says EU fiscal spending could be a tailwind for the UK.
Use the restroom real fast, guys. Be right back. So far in a balanced session, guys. So far, a very balanced session. We fade value area extremes, not looking for big moves. We're at point of control down here, which is very interesting. There could be some serious absorption here. Little scalps down here at the value area low. Good little plays.
Bank of England screen says it's too
As
early
soon as you
to
get
say
caught
what
off
will happen
sides,
to
you got to
China.
get out. Yeah, Ed, we don't know, do we? And also, we can test this level for, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes before we actually reverse or go lower. Doesn't always react immediately. So we got to be patient. I think there is a lot down here, though. I would agree with you.
According to RIA, US envoy Witkoff leaves Kremlin.
Lots of nice scalping down here, guys. I'm not putting these trades up on here because I'm in and out of them so fast. But I've been scalping this value area low. I'm up 382 across my 5 accounts.
Bank of England screen says we're seeing an output gap open up, which should help bring inflation back to targets.
So like $2 grand. Not bad. Just taking it slow. I'm not going to keep scalping this thing, though. Eventually, I'm going to get greedy, go to the well one too many times, and I'm going to get caught off sides and give back all those profits. So now I'm done. Now I wait for the next setup. Let's see what we got going on in the other markets. Natural gas finally having a pullback here. Looks like the indexes are trying to go lower. That's why I don't go back for that. One more, just one more. All right, still might hold here, though. It's interesting. There's a lot down here. There's going to be a lot of buyers here. Or 20. Just a couple micros at a time. Little base hits.
Bank of England screen says we should see some trade diversion coming from China.
Yeah, there's a lot of buying volume. Who's buying, though? No, it's still been mostly, so it's hard to read because there was so much selling volume to get us to this level that the buying volume hasn't registered yet. So it's appearing
Bank of England
on the
screen
tape
says
as a lot of
trade
absorption,
diversion
more than anything, which is good. Don't hate absorption. It's a good bullish signal down here. All right, make that 514. Nice 83% win rate so far today. My scalps. So these total lots traded, it counts each one twice. So I've really traded, you know, 48 micros. Yeah, my lowest ed is usually like 70% over a large selection of trades, but so far on the day, I'll take 83%. All right, seller stepping back in here, guys. Look out. IB low is set. We're at the IB low here. These sellers are being met with a lot of buying.
Bank of England's green says protectionism means more supply shocks in the future.
I mean, this makes for great scalping down here in NQ. I love this stuff. Push down, pop up, push down, pop up, push down, pop up, over and over again. Just creates so many nice trades if you're scalping. Now, if you're trying to catch a big move, you're probably going nuts. If you're going for 100 ticks, 200 ticks, we're going up, we're going down, we're going up, we're going down. Good luck with that.
Bank of England's green says there's a slight concern that inflation expectations show that people are worried about inflation.
So there's a new study that people are worried about inflation. Gee, I wonder why. Maybe because the media harps on it nonstop.
Keep in mind, White House Press Secretary Levitt currently speaking
And
at
also,
the Axios event.
We're paying up the nose for everything. Natural gas caught a little bit of a bid in that pullback. Gold trying to return to value. Big volume node. Interesting long. Logger. It's starting to look nicer and nicer, but it's so choppy still. They're probably trying to chew through some sellers here. So we're going to give that some more time. I'm not convinced that the buyers have taken control here yet in NQ. Yeah, I do see the return to value here, and it looks like it's holding. You got a nice point of control and value area low right here.
Keep in mind, White House Press Secretary Levitt.
So to be honest, I kind of like it too long here on gold. But NQ is starting to light up now. So let's go back here. Right now, I'm not, because I'm streaming. I use it when I'm not streaming, because when I'm trying to show you things, guys, on the screen, I'm marking things. I need to be on my mouse. So I'm scalping with my mouse. I've gotten actually really good with that too.
Bank of England's green says the labor market has been weakening slowly.
Yeah, that was a nice trade, Chubb. We finally, buyers stepped in a little bit.
And Bank of England's green says we should see wage growth come down as the market eases.
Yeah, let me go over to these combines and I'll share some scalps with you guys. Yes.
Bank of England's Green says the April pay settlement data is crucial.
Okay. So let's say we're trying to go long. You know, I'll join the bid here. Wait for some moves in my direction. Well, like that. A little bit of a better price point here. Like that. Little hyper scalps. Just like that, 635. Yeah, exactly, Ed. It's just knowing what conditions to do it in, right? The problem most people have is they try to do that when it's like really in price discovery, and they stop losing confidence in taking scalps in the direction because it's overextended. So they start trying to fade it. They get caught off sides and they take a huge loss. It just ruins everything. So it's really about waiting for the right levels, the right conditions, and then you can just one after the other. Oh, thank you. Yes, 1 micro at a time. And if I really like the level and we're getting good price action, I'll hit the button a bunch of times and get filled around a general area. So like 3, 4, or 5, but all singles. And then I'll switch over to scaling out like 3 or 4 of them. If I have like 10, I'll scale out at 2 at a time. So we're at a point of control here still. Balanced market, guys, balanced market. Yeah, I'm actually talking about micros, Ed. I'll scale in 1 micro at a time. But I'll build up to 10, maybe more. Usually never more than 20. So 20 is a huge position. Too many is, you know, it's a lot. People don't really understand how much leverage that really is. Nominal value of, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars on NQ to have too many minis. All right, breaking through a little bit here. This is interesting. So you can take this long. Try and get on the bid a little bit. Hopefully for another push up. So I got 10 there. Boom. Put me up 700. Waiting for those little momentum bursts. But we're at VWAP, right? So I'm not going to hold this thing, you know, as we head right into VWAP. So Dinesh, if I'm trying to get, it's a little more nuanced than that. Yes, it happens in seconds. Absolutely. I'm joining bid as it pushes down and joining the offer to scale out. But if I'm going short, it's the complete opposite. Nice little burst there above VWAP. Escaping value. All right, I'm about 150 bucks away from turning these 5 combines into XFAs. So that's exciting. They're express funded accounts at Top Step. So those are the accounts you can actually get paid on. So the combine is like the test evaluation. Once you pass those, you get an XFA, and the XFA you can make money on with the prop firm. It's kind of an exclusive term to Top Step, the XFA. Sorry for the jargon. Do we reject? You know, so ES went right to VWAP. That's why I'm a little hesitant for any continuation. No, you can't make money on the combines. Combines are just the qualification to get the XFAs. So I played around a lot with footprint charts. Honestly, I don't think they're necessary. I can derive a lot of the same information on the volume profile. Failed auctions, single prints, imbalances are all visible on the volume profile, in my opinion. Same type of information. Imbalances are low volume nodes, high areas of business and transactions. Imbalance are the high volume areas. I think you can derive a lot more information from a volume profile or even a market profile over footprint charts. Plus, staring at all those numbers is like, you know, I have enough to look at and kind of quantify. So I don't really use them. Now, obviously, there's a lot of traders that swear by them. You know, that's fine. You know, I'll never claim my way is the only way or the right way. I just have what works for me, and I show you guys what works for me. Hopefully, it will work for you too. I've seen it work for a lot of other people, and I got taught by people that it works hugely successfully for them. So I know this stuff works, whether it fits your personality or something that you like, or you buy into it enough to actually see it through is another part of it. Yeah, not everybody's bought in, you know, like, so when people cancel the trial, I get people tell me why, right? Some people are just like, it's not my style. You know, I don't want to trade like this. That's perfectly fine. You know, I don't think a lot of them truly understand how they really want to trade or why they want to trade the way they do or what it really means to trade the way they want to do. But, you know, it's got to jive. It's got to fit your personality. It's got to make sense. You have to have buy-in. You have to believe that it can work for you. If you don't, then, you know, it's not going to work. Exactly, Ed. Exactly. You know, and I know hugely successful traders that trade with 2 EMAs and that's it. Like, you know, that blows my mind, but apparently they're successful. So, you know, there's a lot of traders who've been trading a long time who have very primitive trading methods. They've just learned how to manage their risk and wait for the good trades. So, you know, there's merit to everything, really. Yeah, exactly, John. You have to believe in the system. That's why I talk about back testing, reviewing charts. You know, obviously it's hindsight. It's not going to really help you in the long run. Looking for the back test here on NQ for higher. Looks like it's holding it up here. There we go. So we're breaking above VWAP here. This is price continuation long, essentially on the volume profile here. All right, if we can get above this low volume area, we can go all the way back to IB high. So this would look like this. That's a 1-to-1 right there. Sellers are still holding it. ES is still battling with VWAP here. That's a problem. I'm going to tighten this stop here. On days like today, it's very tough to trade off of VWAP. Clearly a lot of bigger players getting positioned around here. Yeah, I set my lockout at $1,000, Dinesh. So it's equal to my profit target. So essentially, if I have a red day, it's all right, we held there a little bit. No, very choppy here, guys. Be careful. We're at this high volume area. I'm going to sit out for a little bit. I'm going to take this straight off. We have a new point of control right here. And VWAP. So this is a coin flip trade in my opinion. But I'm not here for coin flips. So we could show some real conviction here to the upside. I'm worried about another trap up here. So price action man says you can want. I'm not jinxing it. I'm reacting to the price action. Price action man, you can watch countless amounts of videos, but it's important to go back to historical charts and backtest setups by yourself. Then you will gain confidence to trust the strategy and see that it actually works. 100%. And that's why I post the market recaps. Like, look, guys, these setups materialize one after the other. I even tried to show you where I probably would have taken a setup that failed. Right? It doesn't work 100% of the time. But with good trade management, you can get out for a small loss or even a scratch. All right, here we go. They're trying.
In 10 minutes time now, at the top of the hour, we see the release of the Canadian budget balance.
I like how the point of control is moving up with the price here, but again, very choppy. Nope, sitting out. No follow through on gold. Looks like it's rejecting out of value. Oil chopping around at point of control VWAP. Natural gas caught a bit off that pullback. Tony, you love price discovery. Natural gas was the play today. So is Bitcoin. Yeah. Everybody get out and push. Everybody buy. All right, here come the sellers. Don't worry, they could just stop everybody out before they reverse it and go up. I wasn't the only person who saw that VWAP hold like that and try to get in long. Oof. Violent.
Kremlin aide Ushkov says US envoy Witkoff and Putin met for 3 hours and talks were constructive. Says the talks brought the side closer on Ukraine and other questions. Kremlin says there was discussion.
The hit and go market, guys.
Between Russia and Ukraine.
Hit and run. Take your profits and run. Because there's no sustainable move in any direction here. Not yet, anyway. If you're looking for sustainable moves, Bitcoin's moving up, natural gas is moving up, everything else, gold might have another down move here. So if you're looking for price discovery, indexes are not the market for you today. This is choppy balanced market trading. Yep. Still looks like it's trying to hold. NQ is trying to hold VWAP here. Well, I'm like $50 away from passing these 5 combines in my wife's account. So that's cool.
Interfax report that Russia and the US are to continue active dialogue.
Yeah, sounds like the buyers are stepping in for sure. Now we're still in this high volume node. We're in this value area still, right? Look at this low volume shelf right here. That's what we're dealing with. So they're either capping it with passive selling. Sellers are holding this thing down. So kind of looks more like a short than anything, to be honest.
Fitch ratings say US policy shock reframes global risk environment. In 5 minutes time now, at the top of the hour, we see the release of the Canadian budget balance. Prior was minus 5.13 billion.
That's it. And that, guys, is how you pass 5 accounts.
We have posted the piece out from Fitch Ratings for those interested. It does note that the imposition of high US tariffs.
So guys, I love markets like this
global credit
because it's super choppy. It's super friendly to the hyper scalper. It just keeps bouncing away in both directions, so it's super lenient.
the effects of financing conditions.
It's really easy to just clip trade after trade.
Changing economic assumptions are key unknowns.
So I got 5 more XFAs on deck. I'll trade those next week along with my 150s. Let's keep trading. All right, guys, on YouTube, thanks for joining us. I actually went a little longer on YouTube today than normal. Glad to have you guys. If you want to see us continue trading, we are in the Discord. There's a free trial in the description if you want to join that. You can get it here. All right, so if you're going to continue trading, manage your risks, stay sharp out there. Thanks for joining us on YouTube this morning. For those of you in the premium Discord, we're going to keep on trading, look for more setups in this balanced, choppy market. All right, guys.